Grace, I don't know why I want to share this with you today. I don't know, it's going through my head, but my head's a fucking messed up place, so if I say something that's dickish, I'm sorry, that's not... I got issues, and apparently I hurt you a lot, and I'm sorry. I am. I was just thinking about the vacation, and I don't know why, but I want to share with you that it was really valuable to me, and I really appreciated it, and I had fun. There was a lot of fun, right? And I did experience fun while experiencing symptoms, and I don't think it was because of the beach or the ocean or whatever, right? I really think it was you and how you treated me, and you were considerate, and you were gracious and appreciative and fun and sweet and affectionate and all kinds of stuff, and it felt so fucking good that even though there was this underlying thing that I was dealing with, I got to be present a lot, and I got to experience joy a lot, and yeah, I don't think it had to do with where we were. I don't think that was what it was. I really think it was the love and kindness you were showing me. Having said that, right, there were 2 days where, well, you kind of fucked up a little, in my opinion, okay? And that happens. That's to be expected, right? I don't, right? But, I share this with you just to maybe help you to better understand me. The first day we were there, the first morning we were there, right? That was tough, and there's some things there, but I think the big one is, the day that we went whale watching, right? And, in the afternoon, I told you, after we went to the ice cream parlor in Todos Santos, right, that I really had been trying hard to create a magical day for you. I put a lot of effort and thought into it. And if you didn't think I was doing a good enough job, okay, right? But I really was focused that day on not whining about my pain, not whining about being exhausted, not whining about the underlying depression shit that I was dealing with, not whining about any of that, right? I let you know that I was struggling, but trying to be there to support a magic moment for you, and it was about, I was there for you, not for myself. And you just recently sent me an email that says, if you don't want to do something, don't do it. Don't do stuff for me that you don't want to do and expect me to feel appreciative. Well, that's so foreign to me, right? Because, I do pro-social behaviors, which are important for the human species, and I think are important for a relationship. So that day, I was showing up at a cost to myself to provide a benefit to you. And in my mind, that's part of trying to love you well. Now, you may not see that, but that for me is part of how I show that I love you and the action of love. And later that day, we were talking about it again. You're criticizing me more for my behavior or lack of doing a good job. And then you punched me. And yeah, that wasn't cool. That really kind of is not okay with me. And then later you went and started drinking, and you lied to me about your drinking You lied to me about how much you drank, and you were acting, well, you cried for most of the night. And, I was pissed off at you about what had happened earlier, and then I'm kind of taking care of you for the next 2 hours while you cry and go outside and you say don't do things you don't want. Grace, you were outside on the street crying. I'm sorry, but I am not a guy who can leave the woman I love sitting on the side of the street crying. I didn't want to carry you into the bedroom. I did it because by my code, that's just what you do when a loved one is suffering. You're right? You get them to safety. But of everything that happened that day, right? The thing that has never been really addressed, and the thing that hurts me the most is that the thing that hurts me the most is that you still see my shitty behavior, which I don't know what was shitty, right? You said I'm acting like I don't know you, which I don't know what exactly behavior I did that made you come to that criticism, but that even knowing that I was doing it as a gift for you, for your sake, that had I been selfish in the moment, as I was thinking the night before we left, had I been selfish, right, I would have taken the rental car that we had, found a chiropractor, and dealt with my moderate to severe low back pain. Instead of popping Advil, getting up at 4 or 5 a.m., and driving 3 hours, right? Like, I wouldn't have done that if it was selfish, but it was for you. It was to help support you in a magic moment. And what hurts me the most about that day, like that whole thing, right? The punching, right? Like the lying about the drinking, the acting the way you do after you drink. Like the thing that hurts me the most is that after all of that, you really didn't appreciate anything I did that day. You didn't appreciate that I showed up for you and tried. That I sat for 3 hours with your feet on my lap while you slept and I was in pain. That's what hurts me. Just that after of everything, you just can't say, wow, David, I understand that was hard for you, and I understand you were trying to do me a favor, and although it wasn't perfect for me, right, I get you now. And you know what? I appreciate that you're willing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for me. And I appreciate that you're willing to sit on a bus in pain while I sleep. And David, I appreciate that you're willing to take care of me when I'm drunk and pick me up and carry me back to the room. I understand that you were not happy with me, and I appreciate that you took care of me even though you weren't happy with me. That doesn't have to be that exquisite, but David, what you did yesterday, it really shows me you're a good guy. And I'm sorry I punched you. But again, the punching is like the secondary thing for me. Does that make sense? The other thing that happened and was tough for me, right? That first day. I like it sometimes when you're assertive, right? I appreciate that about you, that you're assertive at times. Sometimes you're not assertive, and I also appreciate that about you, but I appreciate that you're assertive. But that morning, it went over the line from assertive to feeling really bossy and really feeling inconsiderate to me. And okay, that happens sometimes, right? Not a huge deal. The problem for me was it continued when we got out of the taxi and you told me what to do with my phone, and I started to do it because, again, like, okay, I can handle some of it, right? But then you grab my phone and tell me you can't read. You can't read. And Grace, yes, I had said you're not the boss, which you're not. We are a partnership, right? So I said, you're not the boss, and you tell me I can't read. And you know what? Like, I can read. Yes, I read slowly. Yes, I don't read one word next to each other. My eyes scan, boom, 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 boom. Yes, it's weird. But what I've found throughout my life is that given 50% more time than the average educated human being, I do quite well. So all I needed was an extra 5 or 10 seconds of patience. And the last thing I needed at that moment, Grace, it felt like I was being shamed for having dyslexia. And it's something I've been dealing with since I was 16 years old. Well, I've been dealing with my whole life, but something I've known I've had since 16 years old. And I don't think it's okay to shame me or say you can't read, because I can read. Right? I'm just slow. So, that hurt my feelings, right? Like, it hurt my feelings. I hope you can understand that. We argued in the taxi on the way to the hotel, and we were able to stop. We were able to take a breath. And the cool thing for me, Grace, the cool thing for me out of that was, in my mind, I decided to forgive you for a lot of stuff, but forgiveness with accountability, knowing that later we can talk about what I think is inappropriate to shame me or for me to shame you for having a disability. And it was awesome to me that we were able to do a good job and come back together, for the next many hours. And that evening, right, I wanted to revisit the topic, right? Forgiveness with accountability in this case, right? And highlight the fact that it hurt my feelings, right? It hurt the telling me what to do too much, right? And not being considerate, right? Like, that hurt my feelings. And also telling me I can't read a couple of times hurt my feelings. And like, I don't want that shit to happen, right? I want to learn from it and do better next time. And unfortunately, right, fortunately, I don't think you heard me. I wasn't calling you a bad person. I wasn't saying that you were horrible or anything. I was saying that you're an assertive woman, and it had, in my opinion, moved past being assertive and had been in the realm of inconsiderate and bossy. Right? But I don't think you could hear that and say, oh yeah, that might have been, yeah, okay, I can try to be more attentive about that in the future or whatever. Like that's all I was looking for. And then as far as, the comment about my dyslexia, yeah, that I can see why that's not nice. I'm gonna try not to make fun of you in the future about your dyslexia or your other disabilities, because yeah, I can see how that's not nice. That was what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for you like to make you out to be a bad person. No, I wanted to be with you. I came on vacation. I wanted to, and the hours preceding, we had done well. So I was hoping, like, yes, we could get that kind of accountability and then move on. It really didn't work. And I don't think you've ever said sorry. For telling me that I couldn't read twice on the street. I can read, Grace. And that was a below the belt hit. And so, that evening I worked on our goal, right? We had just bought that timeshare and had a goal. And I wasn't really happy with you, but I love you and I care for you. And we have a new goal together. So I spent a few hours, right, doing something for you and me, for us, for our relationship. Now, I wish our talk had built our relationship and brought us closer, right? I mean, like, if you said sorry for saying you can't read, and then gave me a hug, that would bring us closer, right? That would build our relationship. That you went on to criticize how I read and why you think you're justified in saying that I can't read. Like, that was actually adding more insult to injury, right? Do you realize? And baby, that was the... Anyway. Instead of running away, going up to the market, going and getting fucked up, right? I decided to focus on our goal and do something good for us. It would have been I don't know. It would have been awesome. It would have been awesome to be able to have had resolution in the moment. And I think it could have been so simple. For some reason, I don't think you could hear me, that it hurt to be told I can't read. And whatever reasons you think that comment is justified, it's still not okay. Right? It's not okay. It's not kind. So, anyway, I thought that day, right, that something cool came out of it for me was that the resolution happened. We were both able to put whatever we had aside. We forgave each other. I did, with accountability, with the idea of accountability down the road. And we had a pretty fucking good day together, I think. I had a good day. And like, although that was shitty in a way, like, I saw it as a fucking good thing. You know, because at that moment when you told me, David, you can't read, I was like, oh my God, this is the end of our fucking vacation. Right? Like, I had the idea that this might be the end. Like, the rest of the vacation may feel like this. But it didn't. Right? You were able to, I was able to do something really good in a short period of time. I mean, it was 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, and we were okay with each other. And in a little bit more, maybe 30 more minutes, we were good with each other. Right? And in another 30 minutes, we were really fucking great with each other. And I thought that was so cool. I really, like, baby, from is this the end of our vacation to let's plan a future together of vacations, right? In 90 minutes or whatever it was. I thought that was awesome. It really gave me hope for a great future with you. And if we could have conflicts, right? Not that we're not going to, but resolve them quickly. And in 30 minutes, be good to each other. In 60 minutes, be 90 minutes, whatever. I don't know what I said, but, you know, great. Like, that's pretty fucking phenomenal. And it gave me hope that I could have a good life with you. We're new at this, right? We're new at this. But my thought was that given some practice and some guidance and some practice and some guidance, we could get good at loving each other well. We could get good at having conflicts and resolving conflict quickly and safely. And that's a beautiful idea for me. I just got a call from you. I didn't answer it. I finished a video. I want to thank you again. Our vacation meant so much to me on so many different levels, but the biggest thing about it wasn't the fact that I made it to the airport and was able to do that, and that I was able to leave the country and I was able to do that, and I was able to manage symptoms pretty well under the stress. I mean, it is a stressor for me of doing all of this, right? Like, that wasn't the big deal for me, even though I talk about it with you and I thank you for it, right? Like, the big deal for me was, like, although I was dealing with symptoms of depression and then later back pain, what the fuck? Like, you know, where did that come from, right? I was able to experience a lot of fun with you, a lot of joy. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to remember much of the vacation because I was sleep deprived. And unfortunately, like, that's unfortunate for me, but I really I'm proud of us, and I thought we did a good job. And I don't know. Thank you. God. Oh my God, I mean, like, fuck, we had a tiff before we got on the plane, but, like, from the time we got on the plane to the time we returned, for the most part, you and I were touching 90% of the time. And it wasn't just like passive touching. It was like you're grabbing me and holding me and I'm holding you, and and it was fucking beautiful. God, I love it when I hold your hand and you hold mine back. Or even sometimes you stroke your thumb against my hand. And I love it when I'm spooning you while you're sleeping and you grab my arm and pull it across your chest and hold it. Like, and it's not very comfortable for me, but I love it. Right? And I love it when you reach up and kiss me and bite my lip. Right? And when you hold the back of my head while you kiss me, or when you wrap your arms around me tightly when we hug, right? Like, when I can feel that you want me as much as I want you, right? The other day, you didn't really do anything wrong in bed, right? And I'm talking about like the day that we went and celebrated our anniversary, right? You didn't do anything wrong, right? I just wanted you to take your hand and touch me with your hand. I wanted you to take your lips and touch me with your lips. You know, as good as I could feel at that moment, it felt good that you were laying next to me with your head on my chest. But the best part of that hour was when you looked up at me and you kissed me on the lips. And I know that I responded by saying thank you. Right? And later that night, it must have been confusing, because you'd been laying on me for an hour. For me to say, one, that I'm lonely, and two, when you say, what do you need? I say 2 minutes of touch. What the fuck? David, you're lonely. I'm right here. Right? I can see that. And 2 minutes of touch. I've been laying on you for the last fucking hour or 2 hours, whatever. Right? Like, I could totally see that. But the fact that I was lonely, that's not your fault. It's that I really wanted to connect with you. And I was having such a hard time doing it. Right? And I needed your help to do it. But I didn't know how to ask for it earlier. And then when you asked me, what do I need? I said 2 minutes of touch. And I wasn't meaning I need you to lay next to me with your head on my chest. I was meaning, like, I need to be held. I need a big fucking hug. I need to be caressed. I need, the kind of shit that I do for you when you're crying, right? I do for you when you're crying, not what is best for you, because I don't know what's best for you. You don't articulate what's best for you. I do for you when you're crying the kind of stuff that is best for me when I'm crying. And so when I said that, like, yeah, I understand it could have been confusing, because you've been touching me. But I was asking you for 2 minutes of the kind of touch that I give you when you're crying. Does that make sense? Whether that's petting my face and head and telling me it's going to be okay, or that I'm a good person and, like, whatever it is. Or just giving me a huge fucking hug and letting me cry on your shoulder for a minute. Like, that's what I was asking for. I've really enjoyed the time we've been together. I love you, and then great. Yes, you make mistakes, but you've been great. And I'm so glad that I've got to spend the last 6 months with you. My only regret is that I've caused so much harm. Wasn't my intention, of course, but I'm a deeply flawed guy, and I do make a lot of mistakes, and try hard to spot them and correct them and fix them and try not to repeat them, but that is a difficult practice, and I am not, I'm a neophyte, right? I've only been doing these, anyway. Best wishes.